Hello, this is our first ever tutorial from the Craft Oasis. We are going to make today a shirt card, and it is very simple, from an A4 sheet of card plus a half sheet of A5 for all our additional bits on it and a contrast piece. We're going to take our A4 sheet and fold it in half and burnish to make an A5 card. We're then going to take a ruler and we're going to measure down from the top, both sides, 4 centimetres. None of these will be seen when the card is made, so you can do it on the front surface. Along this edge we're then going to measure 2.5 centimetres, 7.5 and 12.5, and right at the bottom a 7.5 at the bottom, and we're going to join the two 7.5 centimetre lines. Don't go up to the top because that will show. We're then going to cut along that line up to the 2.5 centimetre line on both sides, and where this fold is we're going to take a minuscule amount off so that these two edges are free. We're then going to take this top corner and fold it down so that it meets where the lines cross. Take the opposite corner, fold down and burnish again. Now you can see we have the collar starting to take effect. These bits on the edge are not needed, so we're going to take the scissors and simply cut along the line there to separate those off. Now we have the start of the shirt. You can leave the collar as a contrast collar, or you can take your A5 sheet and cut a strip 4 centimetres wide. If I then glue this collar, I can place on my 4 centimetre strip, stick it, and then turn around and simply cut off any excess. 1/2 of the collar is finished. I can glue the other side of the collar and take the other end, place on and press down, turn over and cut off the excess again. Now we have a matching collar. You cannot take your piece of card and wrap it round and come back the other side, because otherwise your card won't open. I've made that mistake. Right, from your A5 spare sheet we're then going to cut a 2.5 centimetre strip, which will be the button band. So I'm going to mark that and cut it like that. We're then going to take our contrast card and we're going to stick this onto our contrast card. I'm then you can do this with fancy scissors or plain scissors, but I'm now going to just cut a small edge so that I have contrast on each side. Top and the bottom don't need to have the contrast. Keep the excess button band, check that it fits, and we're now going to stick the button band just under the collar and then down. There is our card coming together. What we're going to do now is we're going to put pockets on. So I have another 4 centimetre strip that I've cut, and I'm going to measure that to 4.5 centimetres so the pocket is slightly deeper. You can see the measurements easier on the metal ruler. So we're going 4.5 centimetres, and in case I want 2, I'll just do 1 at 9 as well. This is a nice card because it's got lines, so you can simply follow the lines. So I have the option of 2 pockets. To make them stand out, I'm going to mount them onto my contrast card. You'll see towards the end of the video that there are lots of options that you can do with fancy scissors, adding all sorts of extras and making totally different looks to your card. So again, I'm going to mimic the mat that I had on the button band, and I now have 1 pocket, two pockets. If you want to be able to put something inside the pockets, like a pocket handkerchief or a greeting, then only go around the outside with your glue. I'm going to stick this one on firmly, and the second one I'm going to take some very narrow tape and I'm going to go round 3 sides, which will give me the option of putting something in the pocket. So this is our open pocket. It can be staggered or go level with the other one. If we want to cut a contrast across the top of the pocket, then we can do so across there. So 0.5 centimetre should be fine. With this one is put your tape on first before you cut. I then like to remove all of that. And I can just trim each one to match. That is basically it. Now, buttons I can do with real buttons, I can do with candy, card candy, or I could make my own with shrink plastic. So you can add your buttons, but I've got a few other examples for you to show you different ways of treating the same pattern. Here we have one done out of like a damask card. You can see the pattern, very fancy. I've used fancy scissors to go down the side of the button band. We've put a strip with fancy scissors in contrast underneath, and these buttons have been done with a punch. This is another one, rather plain, but we've added a little detail across the top of the pocket, and I've just cut a rough tie shape, and I've cut the extra bit on the top so it's decoupaged so it stands out, and of course a brad to finish. The nice bit about this is you only have to put one button on. This is another sample. So here you can see, instead of keeping the pockets as a rectangle, we've just trimmed off each corner, and it's matching a contrast collar. This is card candy, and don't know if you can see, but there's a tiny little mark either side that looks as though it's been a stitched buttonhole. This one is another contrast one, but instead of the pockets in contrast, this time it's just got a little band across, and again the corners trimmed off. This one is a pretty little girl's shirt, and we have just punched out of a ribbed card, and I've just put two little dots to make it look as though the buttonholes are there. This was punched with a little edge punch, and instead of sloping sides to the pocket, I've just rounded them off with a corner rounder, and note that also the collar has been rounded off, so that gives another totally different view. This is another sample, and again I've used fancy edge scissors, contrast on the pockets. This is shrink plastic, making little buttons and colouring them in to match. But under the collar I've added a little bit more of the decorative edge scissors. This is another one. This again we've just added with some sticky tape a border around here. This could easily be a label in the back of the shirt saying Happy Father's Day or something like that, and again punched buttons down there. And lastly we have an embossed card that's made into the main card. This one is slightly different. Instead of doing a normal fold card, I've done a gatefold. So this opens up like this, and the button band has gone extra added on there, and this simply tucks underneath the collar and kept very simple. This one has no pockets because of the lovely design on the card. There are many other ways of doing it. I have seen a scout shirt done, but you could go any sort of uniform. You could put epaulets across the top. There are so many variations, so I hope you have fun. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll be making many more videos for you to enjoy.